you and me. That's the whole world. They whisper in the hallway. She's a bad, bad girl. Hi there everyone, my name is Ashley. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and most importantly, welcome to my CEP application video. So this is going to be a sit-down style video. I know I've been doing a lot of my vlogs that I filmed over the summer, but because the cultural exchange program application's released, I wanted to make a video going through that whole process to put on my YouTube. Now, I would like to note that it is November 16th when I'm filming this, so unfortunately, I didn't get to film this at the time the applications were open. They did close already. Applications for the 2024 Cultural Exchange Program opened on November 10th, and they just closed on November 15th. Though the applications are closed, I still want to touch on some application pointers if anyone is watching this video for future CEPs, but mainly I'll be going through the next steps, what you can expect after you've applied, and so on, going towards getting an offer and starting to work at Disney World. As I said, my name is Ashley, and I was a participant in the 2023 Cultural Exchange Program at Disney. I worked in merchandise. My home location was in Animal Kingdom, Discovery Island, but since merchandise is a universally trained role, I got to pick up work in all 4 parks, a couple of resorts, and honestly, Emporium was my favorite, so I picked up and worked there a lot. I loved my program. I got to meet so many amazing people. Canadians, people from all over the world, Americans. It was just a huge variety of people, and I just felt so thankful to make so many friendships and so many connections. So essentially, the Disney Cultural Exchange Program is a program where students currently enrolled in college, university, or just general post-secondary education can get a visa to come live and work in Orlando for the summer at Walt Disney World. To be eligible, like I said, you do need to be enrolled in post-secondary institutions, or you will have had to graduate in the last 6 months before your program starts. Overall, with the Cultural Exchange Program, you are assigned a role in Disney, in a park, in a resort, wherever, and you get to live and work in Disney for an entire summer. The place where you live is called Flamingo Crossing. It is a beautiful area neighborhood that is located just west of the Walt Disney World Resort. It has pools, fitness, really anything you need. And you can live in apartments that have 2 bedrooms, sharing a bedroom with someone else, or 4 bedrooms. Applications will typically go live in the fall. This year they went live in early November, November 10th, and last year they went up in early December. Only some countries are able to participate in this experience. For example, the ones listed for the 2024 application was Canada, France, India, Hong Kong, Mexico, Taiwan, Thailand, Turkey, Spain, or the United Kingdom. If you are from the United Kingdom and interested in doing this program, I would go check out some videos from a UK participant's perspective, because they have to go through a certain process with a company called Yummy Jobs that is a little more intense than if you were from another country. So as I said, for the 2024 application, they've already come and gone. The application was live on November 10th and it closed just yesterday, November 15th. Yesterday being, I'm filming this on November 16th. That in itself is a testament to how long the application is open for. So when you are applying for a cultural exchange program, have an idea that the application will likely go live in the fall. This year was November, last year was early December. Applications can open and close in the snap of a finger. Last year they were about 10 days long. This year it was literally just a weekend and 3 business days. I have seen some individuals who have applied connect with Disney support and they've let them finish their application if it was already in progress, but based on some things that I heard this year, that was not the case. My highest tip and recommendation for the application process is to already have your cover letter and resume completed before the application's release. The application in itself is a lot of yes and no's, seeing what you are open to, seeing if you're receptive to the pay rate, the hours that are demanded, your experience, different things like that. But the resume and cover letter can be done in advance, and I would definitely suggest doing that. Any resume and application that you do provide should be professional. A lot of people make this mistake. They think, oh, it's Disney, it's fun, it's magical. Yes, it is, but this is also a job. This is a program that you are being given a visa for, so you need to prove you are ultimately there to work. My most important tip for your cover letter is that you want to implement Disney's 5 keys into your cover letter and even in your resume if you can. Disney keys are safety, courtesy, inclusion, show, and efficiency. So example, before working at Disney, I worked in a retail store, and I talked about how it's important for me to make sure things are running efficiently, but I'm also being courteous with customers that come. I'm also practicing safety through my experience as a babysitter and nanny working with children. These different things will show your skill and demonstrate that you are able to be a cast member at Disney World. Again, I won't spend too much time on this, maybe a little more next year, but just know if you do want to do a program, sometimes they open it up back in the spring. They did this in 2023, but do not rely on it. Make sure that if you are going to be applying, that you have your resume and cover letter ready to go, so as soon as those applications drop, you can put yours in. Overall, I would really recommend this program. It was a huge part of my life last year, and hoping it will be a part of my life next year as well. But if you've already applied and are looking for what steps are ahead of you, keep watching. All right, so your application is in, but know that it will take time to continue on with your process. Disney hiring goes through a 5-step process when hiring their candidates. Once you submit your application, you will be under application review. This is the first step in the hiring process. If everything goes through and works out, you will be automatically put through to application under review. This is the second step that you will achieve. The third step is in consideration. Last year we didn't see really anyone get to this step. It just kind of jumped straight to interview, but that just means they're interested in you. You'll probably hear about some next steps. This could also be considered when you maybe get a role checklist to rank the roles that you're interested, but role 3 in consideration. Step 4 is an interview. This is when you'll get your email to hopefully set up an interview, see a presentation about the program, etc. And then if everything goes well, step 5 is an offer. Last year it took about 1 month to get an interview. So last year I applied on December 4th, and on January 3rd I got the role ranking link, as well as on January 4th I got the link to schedule my interview. For your role ranking, a lot of people will have different tips for this. In my personal experience, I already knew going into it that I wanted to work in merchandise. I got my retail job here in Ontario specifically to prepare me for merchandise, but they do have a bunch of different roles. Some will be offered, some won't, that you rank your interest in. You have 4 options: highly interested, moderately interested, low interested, and then no interest. So some roles that might be available to you on your program might change from last year. They could change this year. They could change from when they were in 2022. They are constantly changing and evolving what is available based on demand and need. Last year what was offered was merchandise, attractions, theaters, quick service food and beverage, and custodial. Now in 2022 they also had lifeguarding available. So this is what I mean when by year to year these expectations can change. But like I said, those were the roles that were given last year. Thinking about doing a video on some interviews of other cast friends that I have who worked in these different roles, seeing their experiences, what they liked, what they struggled with. Let me know if you'd be interested in that, but overall every role has its pros and cons. Make sure you think that your skills align with that role, not just because it's cool, but that you'll actually be able to add to the company in that role. That's also a best way to present it to your recruiter in your interview. When I was doing my rank sheet, a lot of alumni advised me not to do a lot of no interest, but I honestly did quite a bit no interest. I'd say a big thing in this is don't lie. If you genuinely are okay to be in any position, then demonstrate that. Put where you're interested, put some things low, but you go ahead. But there were definitely roles that I was not interested in all doing. I would say for me, custodial and quick service food and beverage were 2 roles that I absolutely was just like, nope, no interest. Now that's a bit controversial. I think your role checklist is independent and you can do whatever you want. But for me, I knew that I wanted merch, so I put that high, and then everything else I put very moderate or low. And then yeah, I was honest with my no interest. For lifeguard, I'm not a certified lifeguard, no interest. Housekeeping, I do not want to do housekeeping, no interest. Quick service food and beverage custodial, like I said, no interest. And know that even if you put something that you're not interested in at all, the recruiter could still offer you that in a position. Often I think recruiters can just see your personality and they see where you might fit in Disney. So just trust the process and go into it with an open mind. Now again, a lot of the roles on the role checklist will not be available, but that is what you will learn in your presentation at your interview. In a post-COVID situation, which was my situation last year, all new participants were invited for an in-person interview in the cities of Vancouver, Quebec City, and Toronto. I attended day 2 of Toronto, and honestly, it went very well. Last year, some new participants also got lucky. If they weren't able to attend one of the in-person situations, they were able to email support and arrange a virtual interview. Now, I'm not sure what that will look like this year. I know last year it was hard because there were a lot of people in the prairies who honestly did not have the time or the budget to make it all the way over to Vancouver or Toronto for an interview. So I think they are aware of this. It never hurts to ask, but just know that the expectation is that you are to come to an in-person interview. For alumni, I've heard that it is traditionally a Zoom virtual interview, but obviously I will find that out this year. At the interview, I strongly suggest you socialize while you're waiting for the presenters to begin. This is actually how I met some of my best friends on the program, and I absolutely loved it. We ended up making group chats, being able to spend time with each other. Even if this group doesn't become your friends for the whole summer, at least when you arrive, you know people and you can hang out with people and then branch off. But I was very lucky that this group that I met ended up being my core group throughout the summer. At the presentation of your interview, this usually is a presentation just before the interview portions start. They essentially will just present what the cultural exchange program is, what they're looking for this year. They'll outline the roles that everyone has access to, and then they'll also present the dates of their program. So for 2024, we do not have any dates yet. No one has these dates, but last year it was May 15th to August 17th or May 15th to August 31st. There was also a period of recruitment in the spring, and I believe that these individuals started on May 20th. But yes, at your interview, you will get all that information about the 2024 program specifically. Bring a piece of paper, jot notes down, make sure that you are being attentive and listening. Don't take notes on your phone. It's just, I don't feel like a very professional setting, but I would bring a pad of paper just to take notes on, because it's good for you if you have questions to ask that in your interview, and just as well to take it home and be able to ponder about if this opportunity is right for you. Now, once you've done the presentation, people usually just waited depending on when their window was for interviews, but overall the interviews were quite different. They ranged. Last year we had 2 different recruiters, and it seemed like everyone who had the different recruiters kind of had a different experience. One was more focused on skills and experience and why do you want to work for Disney, while the other was a bit more engaging of you personally. Why do you want to do Disney? What's your favorite things at Disney? And kind of fitting you in that way. My interview was great. I was very confident with how it went. Essentially what happened is I got all the basic questions. Do you have a passport? Why do you want to work for Disney? How did you find the program? Those kind of things. But then I was also asked about my role preference sheet. So I identified in my interview that my 3 top roles were merch, attractions, and Cedar. And essentially what happened from there is we went through each role and we discussed why I would fit in that role, what skills that I have, what I can learn from that role. The main thing that I think got me the role of merchandise was she asked me, why do you want to work in merchandise? How are you prepared to work in merchandise? And I actually told her I got a job at my retail store at my university in order to build skills to go on the CEP as a merchandise role. And she wrote that down. In your interview, honestly, just have a genuine conversation with them. They want to get to know you. Portray yourself as best as you can. It is just an interview. Mine was only about 5 minutes long and then it was good to go. But they genuinely just want to get to know you. Often they've done programs before, so you can even ask them about their program. One of my questions to my recruiter was, what is one thing that I should do while I'm on the program? Engaging them. Usually people who work at Disney love to tell you about how they work at Disney and what their favorite things are. Now, even though you are interviewing for Disney, this is still a very serious job. Similar to your resume, you should present professional. Dress in business casual, get ready, make sure you look your best. Do not show up in a Mickey Mouse t-shirt or Mickey Mouse ears. That will not go out well. Make sure you look nice, that you are applying for a genuine job, and put your best foot forward. Now again, the process from applying to getting the interview for me last year was a month. I'm not sure what it will look like this year, but if you do have an email offer, you don't have to keep checking your dashboard. I do suggest joining the Facebook groups and Discord groups that we currently have in place. Once someone gets an answer, you will know, and you can know to check your email. Make sure to check your email and your junk mail, just in case. So exactly 2 weeks after my interview, I got my offer. I was so over the moon to be offered merchandise. I originally interviewed on January 10th and my offer came in the morning of January 24th. I was very thankful to get my first choice in merchandise, and from there you will get a handful of instructions on how to accept your role, pay any fees that you are required, and Disney from then on will give you very step-by-step instructions on how to proceed in accepting your position at Disney. At the time that you get your offer, you will only get the role that you are in, which is really awesome because sometimes the college program Americans don't even know their role until they get to Florida. But thankfully, because we are on the CEP, we get to know our roles straight from the get-go when we get our offer. Though you'll have your role, you might not have your location. I didn't get my location until April 3rd, so this was just like over a month before my program started. Thankfully, I was very happy with my location, but some people can be disappointed with their location, and it's totally normal. I know people who were very disappointed in their location, and they ended up not liking their location, but they still worked it. They were still at Disney World. But then I know other people who didn't like their location and then ended up loving it. So again, just trust this process. Mickey's got something for everyone. But yeah, again, once you get your offer, make sure you read out your contract. You'll also get the official dates that your visa will be sponsored to you for, your role, and any other information that you need. Make sure that you are reading this information very clearly, as there is very important legal documents, legal steps that you'll need to take. This is also very important why, again, I said you should be taking notes during the interview, because they'll make a lot of points about how much the fees are, what you can expect, and the processes after the offer that you get that might be of interest to you. Now, again, I hate blanket statements. I don't want to give too much of what my experiences was last year and what will be this year, because no one knows what the next year will hold. No one has a clue. All we have is what's traditionally been done. So again, take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. Understand that this is what I experienced last year, so things may be similar. If they went well, maybe they're going to do it that way again, but there could also be very different things that happen. That is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this helps with your confidence going forward if you are applying for the CEP in 2024. If you weren't able to apply, keep an eye out. We did have spring applications open last year, but definitely know it's not a guarantee, so you may want to start looking into different summer opportunities. Overall, thank you so much for watching my video, friends. If you have applied for the 2024 CEP, I wish you the best of luck, whether it's your first time or you're an alumni. I hope to see you all there, and yeah, best of luck. I hope this video helped going forward, the things you need to do. If you would like more Disney lifestyle and gaming content, you can subscribe to me, Ashley Smashley, by hitting the subscribe button on my channel, and please feel free to like the video as well to help the video. Thank you again, friends. Lots of love.